Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back to work on the junk journal, or journal, however you want to say it. That is a collaboration with Carol Laws. We are both using the Grungy Wallpaper digital download from my Etsy shop. We may be also combining different kits with it. I don't think we're both using all the exact same kits, but they're all kits that are in my Etsy shop. And then we also, I think, are both using JoeyCardmaker's portraits digital downloads as well. He's got lots of really cool portraits from Victorian era, the 20s. I think he has the 40s. I'm not positive on the 40s part, but I know he has the 20s and the Victorian era. So definitely pop over and check out his portraits digitals because they're fantastic. Also, Mitzie at 307 Junk Journals is making a journal using the Grungy Wallpaper digital. So check her out. I will have links to everybody's YouTube channel in the description box below. And then Linda at Handmade, Iowa is making a journal. She is using just more of the Grungy Wallpaper Add On because she's using Joey's 1920s portraits, I believe. So she didn't want, there's like these pictures in the Grungy Wallpaper kit that are more from the Victorian era, so she's left those out and she's using JoeyCardmaker's 1920s portraits instead. But a whole different idea, like everybody's just doing different things, and that's awesome because it just shows you what you can do with the kits. So I want to say hugs and blessings to Maggie, Sharon, and Sherry. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments and for watching my channel. And if you like, subscribe, comment, talk with each other. Any activity on my channel helps my channel. So I thank you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The likes, you know, the thumb up. That definitely is a good thing to do, but any kind of activity you have on my channel helps my channel, and I do appreciate it, so thank you all very much. I want to say a super thanks to Kathy and Sandy. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I really appreciate you very much as well. So what I wanted to show you on this, you might notice, I don't know if you really noticed, but I added some let me grab it. It is, what do they call this stuff? It's watercolor, but it's liquid watercolor. I don't know why that's different from regular watercolor. I mean, it's liquid, yes, but do they just add water to it? I don't know what makes the difference. Anyways, I wanted to try some because it's much more pigmented, that it seems to me, than other watercolor. So my husband got me some for Christmas. He got me all these little bottles of it. And so I used the sepia pretty much just on its own. I did obviously get my brush wet in water, but basically just used the sepia, and I kind of would paint it and let it drip down. But you can see these darker spots that look like staining. Those are all from that liquid watercolor over the top of, as you know, I had already added the wallpaper, some gesso, lots of Tim Holtz Distress Oxides, both spray and the dry. So all that was already on there, so I'm sure that that played a part. But that sepia watercolor just really, I mean, really did some great staining on this. So I'm very pleased with the way that came out. And then we did the inside together. The only thing I've added is a piece of lace down that, you know, center part where we're going to sew in the signature today. So I think that's the only thing I've done that's different. It's hard to remember all the things. Oh, and I want to show you guys real quick because I started working on this. I had a lovely lady ask me to make her one of these. So Cindy, this one is for you. So I used my all-in-one Valentine kit to make this, and this is exactly how this book is meant to be put together. The all-in-one, both, or three, I have three of them. All-in-one Valentine, I have all-in-one winter, all-in-one winter add-on, oh I have four, and the all-in-one Santa kit. So the all-in-one add-on, I can't remember, did I actually do a cover for that one. I don't think so, because you're meant to add it to the winter kit. So maybe it's just 3 total kits. But anyways, it's built just as it's meant to be put together with the cover piece. I have taken the cover, which you would cut out just right around the outside. I've put it onto a piece of manila file folder, flipped it over, and put a piece of the other paper from the kit on the inside as the inside cover. This is the library pocket. I did add this pocket that we did together for the, this was the color combo challenge. I'm like, which challenge was this? The color combo challenge, the red and circle. So I popped that on the front page. It was a good focal point, I figured, for there. And then I've just put this kit together basically with the kit pages, and then I have added a few things. Like this is from a Sears and Roebuck copy from the 60s. It's still nice and patinaed though. I really like it. And then this is a new kit I have in my shop that is called Pretty Purple Pages, like the cream, the pink, the blue, purple. So I have a kit that's just purples. So I did put some of those in. This is the cream. This is avocado dyed with hearts all over it. I did not do this. This was done by my friend Denise at Wonderbar Crafts, and I don't know if she has paper still, but anyways, that is from her. And then I added our little flashcard that we did together, and I turned it into a belly band, so it's just got a tag behind. This is in the kit, all this right here, except for the doily, obviously I added the doily and the little flower. These are the pretty pink, can't remember if I called it pretty pink pages. I don't know. Anyways, it's the pink embroidery version. And then this is kit, avocado dye, the cream embroidery, the purple, pretty purple pages. I added that little cherub heart on here, just put glue on both sides. Now it's a belly band. I just want you guys to see, because if you're like, what in the world is this all-in-one kit? I don't get it kind of thing. This is it. And this is the middle. So you can see I cut this one down. I did cut some off of both ends to try to get it as centered as possible. So that's kind of the one thing, that if you want the pages this size, you do have to cut some of them down. But I make them full size because I want people to be able to make a full size journal if that's what they want to do. Corner tuck is in the kit, so is the tag, and all these pieces except the doily is added. That's one of the purple pages, the cream, avocado dyed paper. Just one of, this is actually a journaling card from the kit. I just turned it into a pocket and added the tag, put a little lace up there. That'll get stitched around. Haven't done that yet. The pink pages again, cream. Other side of that avocado dye, one of the journaling cards into a pocket with another journaling card inside. Purple, Sears and Roebuck, and kit page. So that is one of the that's the all-in-one Valentine journal. So, and I will put some lace on here, and I'll probably add some other things. I just wanted you guys to see, you know, those are in the shop, and I don't want people to be like, I don't even know how to use this crazy thing that she came up with. So I try to make it super clear and easy. You don't need, if you do purchase one of those kits, you don't need a whole lot to go with it. You can make a whole journal with just the kit and maybe a doily or whatever, a few doilies, and it's, you know, easy peasy. So if you're just starting, those are excellent kits. And if you are trying to make some gifts for people and you don't want to make a whole big journal, they're great for that too. So anyhow, I got all my pages together in my signature, placed them however I wanted them, and all that kind of thing. And then I have clipped them together, and then I am clipping them to the outside of the cover. I'm just checking to make sure I basically have the same distance from here as here to the signature portion. So I think that looks good. I have my book cradle, which this is what the book cradles are for. If you've seen, Gal Agostinelli uses them all the time, and she does a great job. I just want to make sure y'all know how to use the book cradle. It's meant to help us. It's an assisting piece to help you get your holes in your journal on the spine. Instead of sometimes if you've tried doing it without, if you can do it without this, then more power to you. It's just, I have tried using like a book or something to poke into, and sometimes like you'll poke and it partially goes out the front or it partially goes out the back, and then so you got a wonky hole over this way, one in the center, maybe another one in the center. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice to get them all right on the spine. So that's what this is for, is to help you. And if you have, because I get a lot of people that think they need it as long as their journal, and you don't, because you can move your journal this way and poke your top hole. You can move it back this way and poke your bottom hole. So this size, you don't need it to be bigger than this. It's not like you just set it in there and you can't move it. You can move it from side to side if you put your clips on, because your clips are gonna, you know, obviously hold it together. Sorry, I gotta move it a little bit closer, and I know it's like right up your nose. That's one of the reasons I don't do this very often on camera. That, and I just am not very good at it. For some reason, this is my nemesis, this whole sewing in of journals. So I don't know what else to say about that. But I do my best. I think I'm a head case is really what the issue is. I get all in my head about it. Okay, and then I come like a half or an inch up from the bottom, roughly. Sometimes it's a little more, especially on these big long ones like this. And then move this and come an inch down, roughly. I mean, the one thing good about a single signature is it's a lot easier to poke your holes and do all that. You don't have to be doing a lot of measuring. You can just kind of wing it. So that's what the cradle's for, is to help you get all your holes on your spine so that they aren't all... How did I not get that one all the way through? That's really weird. It tried, but I didn't get it all the way through. I don't know what I did. Let us try that again. I kind of felt like I had a weird angle there, and I must have. There we go. I think I got it that time. Yep. Right. So then what you do, if you want to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and that's really the only one I know how to do. That's all I really use. There are all kinds of other versions out there that you can use, so just check it out if you want to do it a different way. This is, I do this every time, upholstery thread. So this is not just regular sewing thread. It's called upholstery thread, and I ordered mine on Amazon, and I've had the same roll ever since I've been doing journals, and I've probably done, I don't even know, 600 journals or something. I don't really know. But anyways, you take and you want 3, so 1, 2, 3, roughly. It's a little shorter because I have some going through here. You know, it's roughly 3 lengths of your journal is what you want to use to stitch in your signatures, or signature. You can only do one signature with that, roughly. I mean, sometimes it's more or less, whatever. Usually less, but okay. So I'm starting in the middle. I'm going to go in my middle hole. If I could see, it would help. And then come out. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, some days it is work. Already, really, you're going to start with me? It should be lined up just right because I poked my hole. What did I do? Lordy. So sorry. It's poked. I don't know what the problem was, but it didn't want to go. Okay, in the middle. Out, or back in through the top. you know, so that it comes through all these pages to the middle here. Then you go all the way down to the bottom. I'll move this up to try to make it so you can actually see what the heck. All the way to the bottom and out. And then you go back in. Yes, Gail is my savior with the book cradles because, as I said, I do not love sewing in signatures. So she probably advertises them more than I do because she is just the best. Like, she just, boom, done. Like, no frets, no problems whatsoever. This middle one's just going to give me heck today. But yeah, so she probably does better advertising than I do. And then you go back in the middle. You want to really be careful not to split your string. That's what I like about the upholstery thread. I always, it seems like, split the waxed thread, but a lot of people use waxed thread. I just don't like it because I tend to split it. And what I mean by split it is when you're coming back through that middle hole, you go through the first piece that already went through that middle hole, and then you cannot get a tight, you know, you can't get it tightened enough, so it just doesn't work. Okay, so then what you need is to have one string. I know this is really hard to see because this is so light, but one string on this side of the center string and one string on the other side of the center string, okay? And then I take off all my clips. I know, like, when Gail does it, she just, so, you know, ties it in with all her clips on, but I feel like I don't get it tight enough when I do that. And that's just a personal preference. You do it the way you want to do it. And then I just make sure you get this nice and taut. You want that to be almost like a guitar string. I mean, don't rip your pages. Don't pull so hard that you tear through your pages. And then I do one, and I lift it while I'm doing it. That just helps me make sure I'm getting it nice and tight. And then two. You can do this however you want. If you, and I know that Gail does a different, I don't really know, the holes she goes in and out and all that. And you can do, if that works best for you, do it that way. Or whoever you watch that does it the way you do it and it works, great. Do it that way. I have no beefs with any of that because I am definitely not the master of the sewing and the signatures. And then I just trim these down, and you can hang beads and do all kinds of things. I'm just not a bead person, so I really don't do that. I do add a little spot of glue right on the center here of the knot, just to hold it, because you could easily untie that even on accident, just get your finger caught on it. And so that's just my thing. I haven't seen anybody else do that. I think I'm just paranoid or something, so I do that. You do not have to. This is my little junk box where my needle goes. Try to keep track of all that stuff, because if you lose it, oh boy, it causes fits. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna set this aside so that little knot can dry. Obviously, it's not gonna take like hours, but I just don't want to close it and then be sorry because I closed it and it glues to something that I don't want it glued to. Then I have a bunch of junk. No, I have a bunch of stuff here that we're going to use. That's for the front. So we're going to do this little stacky thing. And where I got this idea was, well, I mean, it's not a super hard idea, but I got this from my friend Mitzie. Thank you, Mitzie. She sent me a whole journal and just a cool piece of ephemera and everything. So thank you. So kind of you. She sent a Christmas gift. But this little thing is genius, I feel like. It's just a little file folder-y thing with writing spot there. Then you open this one, writing spot. Open the last one, writing spot. I mean, how cool and simple is that? It's essentially just rectangles of paper folded in half in different sizes, stacked on top of each other with tabs. That's all that is. So I'm not doing the same thing. I'm doing something different, and mine's not going to look like this. But this is, you know how sometimes you just see something and you do something totally different, but that's where the idea came from. That's kind of what we got going on today. So thank you, Mitzie. That was lovely. And I might do one exactly like that. Well, not exactly, because I don't have the same paper and stuff, but more with the tabs and all. But this one, we're going to do the same type of thing. We're going to have, this is one of JoeyCardmaker's portraits. She's going to be the first one. We need to do some backing in that. This tag from the add-on kit of the Grungy Wallpaper is going to be the next one. And then this will be the third one. So it's kind of like a stack of tags, even though the first one's not a tag. I thought about doing a tag, but then I wanted to use a portrait. So rather than a tag, I'm using this. Okay? And these are just bits that I'm going to use. But first, we need to do some backing. And I thought it would be good to back it maybe with old book page, and then that's how I will attach it one to the next. This is attached, it looks like just glued on top of each other, which I can't really do because otherwise, you know, if I glue this one onto this one, that's not going to work. So we're not going to do it just like that. That's just where the idea came from, if you see what I'm saying. Okay, so actually what I may do is kind of make that into a little book first, and then put the little tab on the back. That way we get a little more writing space, kind of like the one that Mitzie did. I can find some paper to use. Have a whole stack of it. It's just a matter of grabbing hold of it over there. Look at that. What happened to that? Wow. Okay. So I'm going to fold this in half first. So how you guys doing? I'm just blabbing away over here, not even asking how y'all are doing. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope everybody is well. I am doing well. I have to take Pasha to get shots this week. So if there's a day or so where I'm not around, don't worry. It's just Pasha has to go get shots, which he's not going to be happy about. And then I have to go to the doctor and figure out what is wrong with my sinuses. Just nothing big. It's just I have dental pain because of my sinuses. It's not my tooth. The dentist says it's not my tooth. I think I've said that. But anyways, so that's what I'm doing this week. So if for some reason I am not here, that is probably why. Because I will, of course, try to get videos made ahead of time. But, you know, best laid plans and all of that doesn't always work out for me depending on what is going on in the rest of my life. Kids are back at school. I mean, not that that matters. I don't have to, you know, drive them anywhere or do anything. They are adults, but they are back at school. So, yeah. It just gets quieter around here when that's the case. So I do tend to get more done because obviously I'm not jabbering at them instead. They're very fun to jabber at, though. I must say, my niece is doing well, still pregnant. I told my sister what's going to happen now because the doctor said, you know, you're good. Like, obviously, it's always better to go till due date and all of that, but if he were to be born, it's okay. So I said, now what will happen is she won't have him until, you know, like her due date, basically. Because that's the kind of stuff that happened to me when I was having all the problems that I had. Aiden was almost a month early, so that is true. But my son was a week late, so yep, that's how that works. And he was huge. He was 9 pounds, 2 ounces. So he was quite robust. Which was good. At least he wasn't preemie and scary, because it was a little scary when I took my daughter home. Sorry, hold on just a second. everything all ready to go, and then I moved things and I totally messed myself up. So that's what happens when I move things. We're going to use some of this writing from this, or this book page, because it's old, but it's not so fragile, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not just disintegrating before our eyes. And we're going to use it as a hinge. But it's got a nice patina, and I think it'll look nice. So this really isn't, I mean, I'm sure other creators have done things like this. This is not like, oh my gosh, the most amazing thing I've ever thought of. It's just fun because I haven't done anything like that in a while. So it's sort of like doing a tag journal, but like only 3 things. So you're not so thick, you know? So that's fun. But yeah, she was 5 pounds, 8 ounces when I brought her home, which is not tiny, tiny. Like, I know there's way worse than that, but it was just a little bit scary when it's your first. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little freaked out. Especially you bring home my son and he's 9 pounds, 2 ounces. So, you know, he looked like a sumo wrestler. A little sumo wrestler, and he had a ton of black hair, which is the same way I was when I was born. Ton of black hair. Whole head of hair. We called him Little Man forever because, I mean, we gave him a haircut at like 3 months. He just always looked like a little man. It's crazy. Okay. So how do I want to do this? Sorry, I gotta think and shut up for a minute because you know how that goes. So we don't glue things on sideways and backwards and whatnot. And then we're just gonna glue this to this. I think it will work just fine. And we need to back this, but we can put it on here for right now and still back it. And I'm just gonna kind of center it sort of however I want. So see, that is fun. Just has that sort of that old scrapbook look, you know what I mean? Like when they just glued things together, however. Sorry, I put all my paper on the floor because I was trying to make room on my desk, and so now I keep having to stop and dig through all the junk on my floor. I'm gonna back the this tag with this, you know, the old wallpaper-y look. And I'm just gonna tear a piece off, and then I want a little bit of the blue. And then I will make it the size I want it. I'm just gonna glue it right down here. And so this one won't be a book. It'll just be what it is. A tag. But you could turn it into another book, and then you'd have, do I want to do that? You guys, I'm sorry. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it. I apologize. I'm gonna use this. I got this at one of our local grocery stores. Like, it's just a mead thing of paper. I'll show you. It's Mead, Cambridge, and 70 sheets, and they're 11 inches by 8.5 inches. There's the centimeters. But it's all that nice creamy colored craft paper. I mean, cool, right? I love that. So that's what I'm going to put on the back. I put a piece of it in the journal too, just because I was so excited. I've seen Rachel at Roxy Creations has, I think her lines are green in the one she has from Italy, but I could only ever find the white with the blue lines. Like, that was it. And then yesterday I was at the store and found this one, and I was like, oh my gosh, I might have to go back and get some more before they don't have them anymore, because that's what happens to me. I find this stuff. What I was actually looking for was the lined paper that's a cream color that I usually get there. Looks like this. That's what I went for. And they don't have that now, of course, because I need some and they don't have that. Which is weird because it's also mead, I think. It's like, why? Oh no, it's something else. It's Ampad Finest Selection. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, they didn't have it, but they had this. So I guess winning and losing all at the same time. I went to get sushi. We have a store, a grocery store. It's kind of in a fancier area. I usually don't shop there all the time because it's a lot more expensive, but they have sushi. And I felt like sushi, so I went. I know that's a weird thing to get in a grocery store, but I live in Idaho. Okay, so like, sushi's not real commonplace here. I mean, there are a few sushi restaurants, but I don't know. I've had the sushi there, and it doesn't make me sick, so that's where I go back to. Again, I'm in Idaho. Just remember that. We don't get fresh fish. Like, it's not a thing here. So, I mean, I'm sure in some fancy restaurants they probably do, but I live not near fancy restaurants. Anyhow, that's another story for another day. But I always get the stuff that's cooked anyway because I'm a big chicken. I can't swallow like raw salmon or any of that. Nope. Can't do it. I'm sure some of you like that. I just can't do it. So I have texture issues, and that is not a good texture for me. But anyways, it was delicious, and I found paper, so yay. It was a win-win. See, because that cream, it's kind of like manila, you know? It just inks nice. I love it a lot. And now that you've watched me ink all this, you probably want to scream, but there's that. And then it opens, writing spot. Okay, so we need to put, well, let's put the whole thing together and then we'll decorate. You're probably like, oh my gosh, lady, get it together. I'm trying. Okay, on this one, I really do want to use some of this paper. So maybe what I shall do is back this. I don't want this. This could flip open too because it's kind of a cream color, but I think this one I'll just back. But I think I want a piece of book page in the middle. This one's all gluey, so we're going to use it as in the middle paper because you're not going to see it. So it doesn't matter if it's gluey, except when you glue it to your front. Oh my goodness, Amy. Some days does pay to get out of bed, as I always say. And that's a fact. And it is colder than cold. It was 14 when I got up this morning. We're supposed to have a high of 8 degrees in a few days and a low of -5, which does not make me happy at all. As you know, I don't do extremes either direction well. So yeah, I know I didn't cut that very well, but I'm just going to glue it to this one, so I'm going to cut them both at the same time. You do not have to do this whole book page in the middle thing. That's what I prefer. I just like it when it's got a little extra oomph to my tags. But if you are fine with them just being on cardstock or, which a lot of times that's what I do. That Valentine journal, a lot of those are on cardstock, so I didn't bother backing them or anything. But when I do copy paper, I do like to give it a little oomph. So that's just me. You can do it however makes you happy. We all got our ways of doing things. And that's fine. Because as I've said before, it'd be a real boring world if we all did everything exactly alike. Wouldn't that be a real snooze fest? Yes, it would. There'd be no point in watching anybody else do craft videos or anything, because you'd have already thought of doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I think we all need to realize that again in our world about everything is you do you. As we used to tell the kindergartners, worry about yourself, don't worry about everybody else. That's a fact. I mean, if somebody's asking for help, that's one thing, but worry about yourself. I used to say that every day. That and the only person that can make your life better is you. Those are two things I would tell the kids all the time. And both of those are fact. Okay. I mean, I suppose there are people that could make your life better, but chances are it's not going to happen. Yep, yep. Because I had kids that would complain that, you know, some other kid read better than they, or whatever the thing was, you know. And I would say, well, if you want to get better, the only person that can make your life better is you. By practicing. Or behavioral issues. That's always good advice. I need to tear that a little smaller. You could use washi to do this, but I have to glue washi too, so a lot of times I just don't use washi because I feel like, well, if I'm going to have to glue it, I might as well just use paper and glue it. I kind of like the look of paper better. I know, I just inked it, and I have to ink it again. That's something I've always told my own kids too, so it's not just like I would say it at school. That and mind your own business. Or also, another really good piece of advice is if you don't like things that people do or they believe or whatever, stay away from them. That's another bit of advice I would give my kids. I hear all these stories about people killing other people because they didn't like whatever they did or whatever the thing was. It's like, stay away from them. Like, why is that so hard? Sorry, I just got on my soapbox. Did you see me jump up there? All right, so I thought the bottom, but I'm thinking the middle now. I think I will go with the middle. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue just because I think it'll be easier to glue this little edge. Oh my goodness. If I can get my needle out. Wow, that was seriously stuck in there. I will try to remember to link everybody. I said lots of people at the beginning of this video, so if I forget anyone, no offense, and please remind me, and I will gladly put whatever it was I missed, because I always have to miss something. And the reason for that is, for example, it is Monday. This video is for Wednesday. So Tuesday night, when I, post or get this video ready to go on YouTube, I forget things because it's been either a day or two and whatever. So I apologize that I stink at that, but I do, and I know I do. So just remind me, and I will happily fix it. The old brain, it just doesn't get it all done anymore. It just doesn't. I need some book page behind that because it's all too close in color. Let's try to get this all for $28. I don't want this bigger a piece, so I'm not even worried about that. I just need enough to kind of like put behind his picture, his handsome face. I love old pictures. I wish I had a bunch of like family pictures to use for all this stuff. But the other thing is I sell my stuff. So if you're making these for yourself and you do have family pictures, I would definitely recommend using family pictures. But I sell mine. And I just don't. I have a few old pictures, but I just don't have a lot. So that's why I use other people. Plus, I just like them. To me, that's like part of my art is vintage photos. That's just what I like to look at. But of course, if you like to look at butterflies or flowers or birds, whatever, then that's what you should use, right? Because that's what makes your heart happy. I'm just throwing the ideas out there, like, you know, the stacking tags and whatnot. I think I'll put that down there. And those, these word labels are in the Grungy Wallpaper kit, so you don't even have to go find them somewhere else. They're in there. I managed to make some and remember to do that, so. Okay, so there's that, and that flips open, and you got writing, and then we have another little spot that I think I'm going to put this young gent. He's adorable, and that's a Tim Holtz paper doll, but again, use what you like. Okay, so I think it's the mom, the dad, and the son. That's my story. Okay. And since he already has, I need something else, like the old paper and that. I need something else. I don't know what. So let me look in here. This is just all kinds of stuff from tailor-made journals in that old Victorian scrap sort of feel. So I think most of these are going to be people or things that I don't really... Oh, I have that stack of books in a sticker. That might work. I don't think a lot of this is going to go. You know, it would be good as a label. Or how about a stamp, since they're right here. I'm using what's closest. Sounds like a fabulous idea. And then I also have, I stamped a bunch of these strips of book page and whatever. You know how you tear off a bit? I could use one of these as well. Kind of like a label. That old booky page label. Put it here too. That dude looks cranky. I don't know who that is, but sorry if anybody knows that person. And I'm just like, he looks cranky. Yeah. I doubt it. These are some real old postage stamps, so I think I'll do that. That'll work. With the young gent. It's very cute. There's like, looks like craft colored envelopes stuck to the back of that. That's funny. Okay, so I want him here. So this can go, oh, it helps if you put it up the right direction. You know, that helps. I mean, it could be upside down, I suppose, but let's go up that way a little bit more. We need a paper towel. Perfect. Like it. Love paper dolls. They don't have to just be Tim Holtz. There's other people on Etsy that have them also, and I do love them. They're just fun. So fun. All right. I feel like I need something up there, but I think I'll put like some sort of tab. I keep saying like, I apologize. Apologies. Yeah, I think that's super fun. So thank you, Mitzie, for the inspiration. I still will probably make one of the little file foldery looking ones, but I definitely just like that idea. And that's still, even with all that, it's so flat and could pop right into a pocket. And it would be so fun. Oh, you know, we need old tape. Where's my old tape? Sorry, I have stuff everywhere, you guys. Again. Like always. What the problem is I stack stuff up on my desk on either side of me, and then it bugs me, so I put it on the floor. And then I just keep doing that, you know, until pretty soon I have little piles everywhere. Yeah, it's a horrible habit. I don't advise, but what are you gonna do? The problem is, again, I'm back to this, but we use so many things, and it's really hard if you put it all away, you don't use it. That's the problem. I'll do this. And although it's not really holding our book together, you could think it was, right? I want that strip. And again, I make that if you missed it and you're like, where the heck did she get that old tape? It's not old tape. It's just Scotch tape that has alcohol ink painted on it with a paintbrush. And then you can add extra little drips or whatever here and there to get some darker spots. That's literally all it is. And I do add extra glue just because I, you know, put it on a piece of plastic, add liquid to it, and peel it off and touch it with my fingers and all that. So I just like to make sure it's going to stick. That's all. Don't have to do that. It probably will stick fine. That's a me thing. I'm going to do a little stamping to that as well. I have another project, so I don't know what I'm doing. It's already been 50 minutes. I'm clearly not going to get to the other project. But we will put this in our... I like using just the numbers on these. These are Tim Holtz stamps. Mine are a mess. Hopefully you're a better stamp parent than I am. I am awful. Awful, awful, awful. We're just going to use part of these. This is from Staples. You can, I'm sure, get it at any office supply. It's just numbers. Lots of numbers. That I love. I find it a little bit ironic that I can't do math to save my life. But one of my favorite like art type things to use or whatever in my art is numbers. There's some irony there, I'm gonna say. All right, do we want maybe just a little piece of tape on there? A little one. Oh, you know what else I need to do? Which we might do real quick. Put the corners on the book so y'all can see, in case you don't know. I'm sure most of you have seen Gail Augustinelli do it, but if you have not, I will put these on so that we can see. I'm going to use this kind of copper color. These are Tim Holtz. You can get other versions. You don't have to get Tim Holtz. I feel like that needs a small stamp on the front as well. I don't know if I have a little one though. I think I just want a tiny one. I probably don't have one that's tiny. I do like that blue color. It's got little holes in it. Like they went... I don't know if that's a thing. I think I might just kind of go like that. And then cut off the extra or wrap it around. That's what we shall do. I have, sorry, I'm wasting more time. I have these old, like, ephemera books. I actually got them on Amazon. But anyway, they're just all old ephemera, and a lot of it's Victorian because that's what's in the public domain the most. And I have some of them that have all kinds of old images where they use stamps in crazy ways, like even on top of the ladies' hats and all that. And I just love those. I just think that's so fun. Okay, so that little stamp just went around the bend. I might have to put more glue on that. Don't know, but we're going with that. Okay, let's get to the corners. So if you haven't seen, oh, I just put a bunch of other stuff in there. Oh well. Okay, so move that out of the way. That's very fun though. Highly advise. Highly recommend making that little stack. We're going to do these. And they're so easy that I don't really need to show you. But if you look at those and say, I have no idea how to use those, this is how I do it. And I learned from Gail, so if it's wrong, it's her fault. No, I love Gail. Just kidding. And then I just turn these over. And sometimes it's easier to just do it with your fingers. Sometimes. And you're going to get glue all over because that's what we do. And then I take my little pliers here. And it even is probably a better idea to put something over them so you don't scratch them with your pliers. I mean, you're not like going crazy, you're just tightening it. But we definitely don't want to scratch the front of them. Just get them nice and cozy on there. Wipe off your glue. And they should just stay fine. But see, that just adds a little something and protects your corners so they don't get all bunged up. I'm going to squeeze it just a little right here. Okay. And I will do the cover as well. I kind of showed you already what I'm going to put on there. But I need to do that. I try to keep it towards that back edge, but obviously it doesn't always work. I don't know. There's really no great easy way to do it. They are metal after all. And my hands are for the birds as far as strength, so used to be better. Not so much now. Oh, I forgot to cover it. I mean, you don't have to. I just feel like I don't want to make marks if I don't have to. And I'll just shove them good and make sure they're on there all the way. You do got to get a little rough with them sometimes. This one. Whoopsie, just stuck my thumb right in it. My husband came home today to get lunch and scared the bejeezers out of me. I was up here in my craft room, you know, just listening to some, I was actually listening to Grizzly True Crime. I listen to her a lot during the day just because it's an easy thing for me to do while I work. And all of a sudden the garage door opened. I about jumped out of my skin. Oh, scared me half to death. Was not expecting it. Kids are at work. He's at work. It's like I just wanted to get something to eat. I was like, oh, just scared me. Scared me. Okay, and then this one. Covering up some of my really cool staining. But that's okay, because we're going to cover some up too when we put the little topper on. See, I just scratched that on that. I got glue all over the handle of those. And then I always push like that just to make sure they're on there good, right on the corner, you know what I mean? And then voila, we have corners. Fabulous corners. All right, so that is that. And we are done for this day, I think. And I have a whole stack of ephemera and stuff, so this should go together pretty quick from here, which is good because everybody's ahead of me. Because I'm a slowpoke. Well, it's the 50 stack challenge and all those other things I do that get me behind. That's okay. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that and our little stack of goodness here as well. Just very fun to pop in a pocket, nice and flat. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will chat with you again soon. Love you. Bye.